What's up, guys? Welcome back to Pitch Pass Podcast. I am your local Chiefs enthusiast, Bretley.
Hey, it's me, Brando. Man, congratulations. As you can see by the Patrick Mahomes Funko Pop, the Chiefs prevailed over
Yes.
the Eagles
Yeah,
in a fantastic game.
definitely. Yeah, this is probably the ending made it an arguable, but it was probably my favorite Super Bowl I've watched.
It was a great game.
Yeah,
That was the thing. It was high scoring, it was dramatic, it was a back and forth
for
game.
sure.
Man, Jalen Hurts not only had a stellar performance on the field,
Historic.
historically great performance, but also was the deciding factor in the game, in my opinion.
Oh, the fumble. Yeah.
The fumble that got returned for a touchdown,
Yeah.
it the Chiefs offense, like, it gave the Chiefs offense all the momentum they needed as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
Like that fumble return for a touchdown just helped so much.
I think you could make an argument though, because if you look, like, there was the other moment, the pass that he made. I think it was to Gainwell.
Mm-hmm.
Where Gainwell got hit really hard, even though that was a catch. That should have been a catch, and that should have been a fumble. He had the reception, he was making a football move, and he had both feet on the ground. That should have been a fumble, and that would have been another return, again, for Bolton. But,
Okay, I that was not a catch. That was not a catch.
I don't know.
Time matters. It was as soon as he caught it and turned
Yeah.
around. Come on, man.
Alright, well, look, to each their
Come
own on
on.
that. But,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
the cool thing about this game, uh, if you just look at the first half, we had the ball for 8 minutes, and the Eagles had the ball for 22 minutes.
yeah.
And then in the second half, we had the ball for 16 minutes, and they had it for 14. So, yeah, if you look at our 24 minutes compared to their 36 minutes, you would certainly think that the Eagles won the game.
Yeah.
And it very well could have turned out that way. But like you said, I pretty much agree. I think that the fumble from Hurts was the pivotal point in the game. I said it. I did say it on here. I said it 100% with certainty. I was incorrect about McKinnon. It was very mature of him to not take that touchdown to slide.
Yep.
Because getting a touchdown in the Super Bowl, you
Is dope, but winning a Super Bowl is better
yes,
because you don't know what happens with that time you
No.
give them.
uh,
Because
they were moving the ball.
yeah, and they could have easily went down the field.
Yeah, no, you're
And
definitely
then
right.
and then at that point, then it's just a dogfight again.
I was definitely right about Kadarius Toney being our X factor in this game, though. I very
That punt return, that punt return
Yeah.
was fantastic by him. There was also the fact that fucking Andy Reid drew up the play essentially two times in a row, having outside receiver motion in and then
Yes.
zip back route out to the outside for a touchdown.
Yeah,
You know what's
shifting the
funny?
coverage to one side of the field and then just having them run a little swivel route. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, having them call what's like referred to as a whip route, essentially like 3 steps in, like you're running a slant, and then right back out.
Yeah.
It's really awesome because you saw it on tape already earlier this year. The Eagles' defense giving it up against the Jaguars. Doug
Yeah.
Peterson was skimming it up for a while, and Andy Reid saw on the tape, and he used it twice in the Super Bowl,
Twice.
and it
Yeah.
still worked. Still
On
fucking worked
opposite sides, yeah. Oh my
against
God.
both fucking corners, against both starting corners. It was
Also, credit this guy more because this game was
his best game of the year.
yeah, it really
When they need it most.
It gave me hope for the future of our receiving core. I said it. Tony was going to stay healthy, and I feel like he was going to be a real X factor. I guess I missed on the McKinnon. He didn't have a great game. Pacheco, man, that him getting the touchdown in the Super Bowl made me really happy. His little slip and waddle move that made me happy. As for the Eagles, yeah, Jalen Hurts passing for over 300 yards, rushing for 3 touchdowns, and throwing for 1. Dude,
Yeah,
the touchdown
Insane.
to AJ Brown was fucking sick.
yeah,
Yeah,
it really was. And they, if it wasn't for that fumble, there was a chance Jalen Hurts could have won MVP on the losing team still.
Yes, definitely.
Like, there's definitely a case to make for it. And also, a big shout out to the Chiefs' offensive line. 0 sacks allowed.
0.
Not too much pressure allowed on Mahomes either. They did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And maybe it's time to pay Orlando Brown. It's gonna be interesting what you guys do.
That was one of the points I was gonna bring up. While we're
You
giving
just
credit
cave
where
and
credit's
make.
due,
You
Mahomes
just cave and pay him.
13 of 14 in the second half. The only one incompletion was a throwaway. Yeah, he really didn't even get pressured. So honestly, we might cave and pay him. I don't.
Granted, here's the thing about the Eagles' defensive line.
What?
All their defensive linemen are very good.
Yes.
They don't have an elite edge player.
That is also, well,
that's elite. When you gotta have it. They don't have a Nick Bosa. They don't have a Von Miller.
Sure.
They don't have.
Well, we've seen what happened in some of those games, even against some of those guys. Andy's just really good at either using guys in motion or just kind of scheming the play to go in a direction completely opposite of wherever they are.
No, I'm just saying that helped Orlando Brown Jr. because those are the only guys he really struggles against. Those like elite guys who are like real betters.
Everybody does, yeah.
I mean, obviously are, but man. These are going to cave and pay him this offseason.
Yeah, I believe that.
And
speaking,
you're right.
What?
When you were saying Mahomes deserves so much credit in that second half, he was on fire.
Especially after the ankle injury.
Never made a mistake.
No. Yeah, it was crazy. Also, on that ankle, 6 rushes for 44 yards. Pretty impressive. Our second leading rusher.
Oh, what kind of drugs they put him on in halftime, man? They had 30 minutes.
I can't believe how stupid people were for, like, believing those
steroid
tweets.
Stuff,
yeah. Oh my god.
I do think they put him on some painkillers in the half.
Oh, definitely. They shot him up with 1,000%. 100%. Yeah.
But absolutely. As a Packers fan, I've seen Aaron Rodgers do it too, and I saw Patrick Mahomes at the end of the game. I was like, "Yep,
he faded,
gone." You don't even know you're there.
Speaking of gone, Eric Bieniemy yoinked by the Commanders. That's definitely going to be something that changes in the offseason. I know a lot of people say that he doesn't play call, doesn't do anything, but that's not all of the responsibilities of the OC. And the only person who shit talked him is Shady. Let's talk about Shady for a minute. Shady got carried to a ring on our roster. I'm not saying that he's not a Hall of Fame player. He got benched because he was underperforming. And he got carried to a ring on our roster, and he still chose to bitch at Bieniemy.
Didn't he get carried to a ring on Tampa Bay's roster too?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, for the record, LaShawn McCoy is a Hall of Fame running back.
Definitely, absolutely.
Oh yeah, but, amazing player.
Let's see if I can find an example. Yeah. This is how he carries the ball.
I mean, okay, but. Outside of how I'm not going to come at him as a player because as a player he's absolutely amazing.
He's amazing, phenomenal.
As an analyst, I don't agree with any of his takes really. I think Eric Bieniemy is an absolutely great hire, and I think he should be who they replace Ron Rivera with eventually.
So what confused me was Greg Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I don't understand is why they hired Bieniemy to be their OC. And they're trying to get Greg Lewis to be their assistant head coach.
We'll see how it turns out. Ron Rivera is just weird.
Well, okay. If they're trying to have Bieniemy replace Ron, then wouldn't they want him in the assistant head coach position so that they can promote
Commanders
him?
are a fucking hot mess.
I know.
They're literally gonna get sold here in a couple weeks. Like,
God. Like,
literally, there's, like, news about Jeff Bezos hiring a firm to, like, look about buying the Commanders, what a bid for that would look like. Like, Snyder's out. The leadership is weird right now.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine the fucking analytics on a Jeff Bezos-owned team? They would have Amazon Web Service working around the clock. Oh, my God. You had a 3.2 margin of separation here. You need that to be at least 3.35 to make that a 100% catch rate. All right, buddy. All right, guy.
Your spot playing in New England was bad. Wait until you had the working conditions in their Bezos.
Yeah.
Obviously.
you're not gonna get lunches. You're not gonna get lunches. I'll tell you that.
No, I honestly think if he bought the Commanders, I think those players would get some special treatment.
Probably. Oh my
Like,
god!
I
Could you
think
imagine
private jets.
how many Amazon games they would be on? How many Thursday night footballs they'd be on?
Now, you know what though? Bezos would be one of the NFL owners that would save money because only one NFL owner owns like their own like private jet for an airline.
Yeah.
And that's Robert Kraft, which is weird. You'd think it would be Jerry Jones.
Yeah. The Cowboys are weird too. I don't know.
Cowboys are weird.
How they spend their money is just astounding to me. But
I love the idea of Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell next year if that's the direction they go in.
Yeah.
I think we could really see some development there, but
I hope so. Honestly,
also the receivers.
Yes.
They are fucking great.
Yes. I think Jahan Dotson is going to become,
and Terry McLaurin just
I think that Jahan Dotson has the potential to become a genuine, consistent red zone threat in the NFL. I'm not going to say a top guy, but I'm saying top 20 receiver. I could see that.
You know what I like about Jahan Dotson?
What's up?
He kind of just manifest.
Yes.
Randomly on the field. Like, he'll just appear.
That was my comparison. Yeah, like...
kind of...
He's like a Boo from Mario. Like, he'll go invisible for a little point in time, and then he'll just, like, pop out, and he has a reception. And it's like, you didn't even do anything, like, crazy athletic that I noticed. It's just, you're there. Yeah. In the perfect spot.
Yeah. And, hey, just being at the right spot at the right time is kind of all you got to do as a receiver.
Especially when you're a young guy with a developing quarterback, and now you're going to have an offensive coordinator who believes in you. Potentially a new assistant head coach. And coming from a culture of success, not a culture of being the fucking Commanders. So, I like those moves for the Commanders. I'm sad that we lost Bieniemy, but I genuinely wish him the best.
But you guys already have a new offensive coordinator. Well, not new. Hey, what's wrong with Matt Nagy? He was your guys' OC when Patrick Mahomes put up 50 touchdowns. Okay.
Yeah, I like Bieniemy, man. I'm just sad he's gone. I really wanted Bieniemy to take over for Reed when he was done.
But here's the thing: Reed's not going to be done for a couple more years now.
You don't know.
Bieniemy does not want to wait that much longer for Andy Reid to be done. Okay.
I have my own thoughts.
My hot take about Andy Reid: I think he's going to coach until those burgers give him a heart attack. I legitimately believe this.
I think that when Mahomes' 10-year contract is done is when he's going to look to
retire.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a fun thing to think about.
Yeah.
And then Mahomes' 10-year contract. Do you think Mahomes plays it out and then test the market in free agency?
No, I think Mahomes is going.
I think there's zero chance
for life. I think he is going to be one of those players that stay. I think the only time that he might leave is if he gets to the end of his career and there's a situation with like similar to Brady had, where
Brady, like with Brady, Manning, and Rodgers right now.
Yeah. Well, Aaron's kind of
Aaron's interesting. I love Aaron.
I hope your darkness retreat went well, man.
It's over now. He came out of the darkness. Yeah. Now the time to see if he saw a shadow or not.
Real, yeah. Time to see if he saw the hat man or not. How many Benadryl did he have in there?
And see if he wants to. I think it's right down he's gonna be in 1 of 3 places next year, either Green Bay,
the Jets,
New York, New York Jets, or Las Vegas.
The Raiders are like the dark horse. I think as the days pass on more, I kind of like the Raiders better for him.
Well, the Raiders are the best option.
Yeah.
Especially if they can find a way. Okay, imagine this. He gets traded to the Raiders. They also signed Taylor Lewan in free agency to play that tackle spot opposite of Colton Miller. Going to help the offensive line a little bit right there. Yeah. They still have Devontae Adams. I don't think Green Bay is going to want Darren Waller in the trade, so he'll still probably have Darren Waller.
Well, they also have Foster Moreau as well.
Well, is Foster Moreau a free agent this year?
I don't think so. I think he has 1 more year. Let me check real quick.
Yes, research. Brett with the research.
Let me contract. Yeah, he signed in 2019, so this should be his last year, I believe.
So they'll have Colton Miller.
Click on
And
that.
also,
Oh, you know what? You were right. This was his last
oh, is
season.
there?
2022 was
Okay.
his fourth. Okay.
There we go. Well, so Colton Miller is a free agent.
Hmm.
They'll still probably have Darren Waller though.
Yeah. And Devontae, obviously. That's
Vontae Adams, obviously. Josh Jacobs would come back if Aaron Rodgers was there.
definitely. The one that I'm really starting to like is send Rogers to the Raiders. That's fine. I really want the Bears to trade Justin Fields to the Jets.
Okay, Justin Fields to the Jets would be such an amazing move. And if they do that, they are drafting a quarterback at 1 then.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
It would probably be Bryce Young if they did that.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
Even though, hot take, I think I probably said this on the show before. If not, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably know this. Anthony Richardson's my QB1.
He has the potential to be QB1.
I think it's. I don't think his problems are that hard to fix, honestly.
I agree.
And I
worst
think
case
as
scenario.
soon,
Sorry, go ahead.
I think as soon as he just gets his footwork down,
Yeah.
that's it. Because like it seems like everything from his waist up is
Good.
fine.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think honestly, I think people are trying to like put an air of negativity out about him to drop his draft value, so that some of those middle of the pack teams that want a quarterback can get him. But
Yep.
I mean, worst case scenario, send him to the same quarterback guru that Brock Purdy went to, and kind of work on that.
I don't think he's getting out of the top 5. I really don't. I don't
That's a
think
hot
Richard
take.
is getting out of the top 5.
And I would say top
guess-
10. But
I guess Daniel Jeremiah talked to a bunch of like GMs supposedly, and a bunch of them have Richardson as their QB2.
that honestly, that tracks, and I could see that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why
This is
CJ 's getting so much
pre-combine.
hate. Maybe this is a hot take for me, but I think that CJ and Bryce could honestly be the very, very same caliber of player. I agree with you. I think Anthony Richardson is probably the best physical prospect.
Yeah.
And I think that he could give you the highest ceiling, but
Yeah.
where's that floor at is what a lot of people are concerned with. Or what
I
the
don't think the
narrative
floor is that low. I don't think it really is because of what he can add to the running game. If it'd be a really interesting place for Richardson to end up, Detroit.
That I would adore that very
Okay.
much.
All the reasons that people are like yammering that they want Lamar Jackson to go there, different animals rushing the ball, obviously. Anthony Richardson's more of like a power runner. Lamar Jackson, more or less, is going to try to make you miss.
Everybody's like comping him to Colin Kaepernick lately.
Ooh. Anthony Richardson? That's not a terrible comp. My comp was more compact Cam Newton.
That's probably the direction I would go as well. I would have gone more like the Josh Allen, Cam Newton route, but
I think he's a better rusher than Josh Allen.
I
That's a
agree.
hot take.
No, I'm right there with you on that. I'm not trying to get into it with Bills Mafia, but Josh Allen is a good physical player, is all I have to say at the moment.
Maybe. I think Anthony Richardson would be a good fit with so many different teams. I also
Same.
think the Colts, if the Colts traded up to 1, they would
Yeah.
make sense. Shane Steichen just came from the Eagles. Was just their offensive coordinator. Just
Yeah.
had Jalen Hurts for 2 years. Like maybe you would want to recreate that kind of magic with Indy, especially since they have an offensive line very similar, have a great running game already in place.
How many quarterbacks do you think go in the top 10?
Top 10.
Yeah.
3.
Really? I think maybe 4. I could definitely see 4. Because you have Bryce, CJ, Anthony Richardson, and then somebody's probably going to take a shot on Levis, yeah.
What if this is just a really good quarterback class and we're all overthinking it?
Honestly, everybody's talking about next year. I think that's what is happening. I think there's so much kind of shading
I remember
going
there
on.
was so much hype about this class.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a year to 2 years ago.
Exactly.
And I think we're maybe overthinking it because we see how good of a prospect
Caleb Williams is.
Caleb Williams is.
Probably.
We're looking at like him like he's Andrew Luck, John Elway, and we're ignoring this really good quarterback class in front of us.
Yeah.
It's like the Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson class.
Yeah.
Where everyone was kind of looking past it a little bit.
Trubisky, yeah.
What if it's kind of like that? What if like legitimately two of these quarterbacks are big hits?
Well, that statistically that would mean that one of them's probably a big bust as well. But
yes,
yeah.
Well, yeah, no shit. One of them's gonna be a big bust.
That's okay.
Part of that's where they get drafted. Part of that's them.
Who's going to the Texans?
Oh, I take Bryce Young ends up in the Houston Texans. That's my take.
I could definitely see it. Yeah. I think the Texans definitely have potential for the future, especially with Dameon Pierce. They really just need to surround them with talent.
Like more high-end talent, because I feel like they have decent depth. Yeah. I feel like their middle of the roster is really good. It's just
yes, they don't have anything great.
There's nothing to real. I feel like when the Texans are in gotta-have-it situations, they don't have an individual player that can just either put the ball in their hands or, like, can take over the game on defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had a bunch of those players, but...
Before, and then they got traded away or used in some other way. Not many coaches... Okay, not many coaches should ever be GMs as well. Bill O'Brien should never have been in charge of that fucking team.
Bob was not conducive to any success at any point in time. Sacrificed present and future for that team. That has had to be cleaned up since.
Okay. Do you remember that fucking trade that Bill O'Brien did where he fucking traded fucking DeAndre Hopkins over to the Cardinals pretty much for fucking David Johnson, who was on his last legs already.
Yeah.
Already washed. Yeah. And also gave up a pick in the process.
Gave up a pick. Yep. Yeah. Well, speaking of the Cardinals, Kyler's going to be rehabbing for probably half of the year as well. So
what do you do? What do you do at 3 for the Cardinals? If a quarterback-ready team is coming knocking and you're the Cardinals, what are you doing?
I think that they drafted Kyler Murray for a reason. And I think that once Kyler rehabs and they surround him with adequate talent, you can't just have 2 good players and expect that to be it. Like,
expect it to work right there.
Yeah,
and then.
Okay, no disrespect to James Conner, because I think amazing story, and I honestly think good player, but, like, if he is your second best weapon on offense, you're cooked.
Okay, Zach Ertz was actually
but he was injured too.
Yeah, Zach Ertz got hurt. DeAndre Hopkins was on roids suspension. And he never really got a chance to play with Kyler.
Nope.
And hey, you know what? They did pull off that trade with the Ravens, brought up in Hollywood Brown to play with him, his former teammate at Oklahoma. He got injured too. Yep. So you're right.
I think the Cardinals, you have to give Kyler.
You got to surround him with talent. So I'm trading back in the draft.
Yes.
I'm getting more picks.
Yeah.
You
need a receiver.
You need linemen too. Here's the thing: you need a block to keep that man fucking safe.
That is true, but they need a young receiver to develop with.
You need a lot of things. The Cardinals team needs so much. That's why I'm saying trade back, maybe even twice, multiple times probably in this draft. You want to build up capital. You want as many shots at this as possible.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the teams, especially in the top half of the draft, are going to be very offense oriented with their picks. Because you have the Bijan, you have a pretty good wide receiver class in this draft as well. Some potentially generational talents. So,
This is also a really good edge rusher class too. There's so many good edges from Will Anderson, Van Ness out of Iowa is
He's not
really
leading the
good.
top 5 though. Will Anderson's definitely he's gonna
Will
be like
Anderson's not leading the top five.
yeah.
Um, honestly, there's a chance that him or Jalen Carter could go number one. It's either if the Bears stay and then draft a player,
Yeah.
and they don't like they're gonna either go Will Anderson or Jalen Carter.
I feel
It just depends if they prefer an edge rusher or a D tackle.
I feel confident that someone's going to trade up, and
Yes.
unless if they trade Justin Fields, I really Jets, please make something happen. I I want to love you so badly, but you're so shit at quarterback.
I don't think the Bears should trade Justin Fields. Is my personal take.
They
I
should,
think
but
I don't think they should, but hey, Chicago makes a lot of wonky decisions, and also the current GM did not draft Justin Fields, so he's not really married to him either.
yeah, yeah. The Bears are when it comes to quarterback,
Bears.
it's never been
Yeah,
their
they're
strength ever. But,
But let's also keep going with some of these news. Derek Carr was, I guess, told by the Jets that if he can win a Super Bowl there, he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
yeah, I heard that too. You know what else I heard was
If he-
laugh tracks in the background because that's just not first ballot.
Okay.
Come on,
I don't think Matthew Stafford's a Hall of Famer with his current career resume.
he is
I
definitely
wouldn't get.
Ring of Honor.
He's a Ring of Honor guy with
If
probably
he-
both franchises he played for, but I. If Matthew Stafford isn't that, Derek Carr's not that. Then
No chance.
Derek Carr would have to have like a Drew Brees-esque second half to his career
100. Yeah.
in New
Post
York.
post injury Drew Brees coming in. Yeah.
Okay. Because he would have to win a Super Bowl in New York and then just go on a tear. Like statistical tear.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to keep winning. He just has to keep putting up fucking monster ass stats and be top 10 in passing yards and touchdowns when he ends. That's how he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer then.
In my opinion, Stafford
He would
has
have
to
to
win
go-
another Super Bowl and be like he has to have an amazing season and win another Super Bowl to be a Hall of Famer.
And I don't think Stafford has the arm left to do it.
I think
I
that's
think
tough.
Carr does. I don't think Carr will.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about arm real quick? I saw something today. It was a clip of I don't remember who it was on the Jets hitting Josh Allen. I believe it was in their second matchup in Week 9, and watching his elbow bend backwards the same way that Brock Purdy's did. And that was around the time that somebody started saying, "Hey, it looks like there's something wrong with
Josh Allen.
Yeah, and I know that it was known that he had an elbow injury and that there were issues, but going back and watching that very specific hit after watching what happened to Brock Purdy, that was kind of I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen in Buffalo this year.
I think Buffalo's gonna be fine. Josh Allen's they got bounced from the playoffs pretty early. Gave Josh Allen plenty of time to rest his elbow. I think they should be fine next year. There's still a really good deep roster.
Another thing. Oh, did you hear the number one landing spot for Derrick Henry? Buffalo Bills.
That would be spicy.
That
Him
would
and
be-
him and Cooks in the same backfield would be nice.
Yeah. I remembered hearing something about that today. Yeah.
The Titans are in full blow it up mode.
Definitely. Yeah. Malik
so-
Willis not turning out how you expected.
Here's the thing though.
Tannehill.
I would trade Ryan Tannehill
Yeah.
to one of these teams that want to sign a quarterback
Yeah.
and compete now. And I'm starting Malik Willis.
I mean,
'Cause here's the thing. Here's the
that's
thing.
fine.
Either they're gonna develop throughout the year and get better, or he's gonna be absolute dog shit.
Yep.
If he's absolute dog shit, you can get one of the two quarterbacks in the draft you want.
Yeah.
You
No.
can get
Exactly.
either Caleb Williams or Drake May.
Yeah. So
Or
that brings up an interesting
Maybe
point.
Sanders if he's good and I that's just me being a little wild,
Yeah,
saying that Sanders goes off next year at Colorado, but and
I
also declares
definitely think it's possible. It's
it's
certainly
possible.
within the realm of
Okay,
possible. Everything that I've seen from him, his style of play is very appropriately
but
aggressive in that I
I
feel like
want
it could translate to the NFL.
I want to see him play in the Pac-12 though. I want to
That's
see him in a higher level of competition. I
yeah.
need to see that next year. I am so excited for when USC and Colorado play
Oh my
next year.
God, I know.
It those are going to be such expensive tickets.
Well, yeah,
I think it's in Boulder.
we also have to remember like what Colorado is going to need our rebuild to be not like a full rebuild, but they definitely need at least a year, if not two, to get like up
Even
to
anywhere
speed.
close to the playoff.
Yeah, because they weren't like a destination team.
They were a
before.
shit
Yeah,
team last year,
yeah,
Brett. They
yeah,
were a shit team.
yeah,
They struggled so much. Like they need everything that Deion Sanders is bringing in.
yeah. Definitely.
It helps that he's bringing in both his sons and
Yeah.
Travis Homer.
Yes.
But man, it's like you said, it is not going to be pretty next year off the bat.
Yeah. I. The
I'm
Titans
just
are
looking
kind of
forward to
an
the USC
interesting
game because I
Yeah.
know that it's going to be a shootout
Yeah.
because USC's defense is probably going to be dog shit again because Lincoln Riley is Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, that's
And
probably true. So
and
go ahead.
and I know Caleb Williamson is going to just slash through whatever defense he plays against next year.
So yeah, so we were kind of talking about who might end up with him, like what teams are kind of in blow it up mode. So here, let's take a look at this. So we were talking about like even if you're going to be a dog shit team next year,
Mm-hmm.
how are you going to perform in that division? Because there are some teams that we know are going to be shit, and there's some teams. I mean, hey, we all thought the Seahawks were going to be dog ass this year. We thought that the Seahawks were going to be like the bottom team, but they ended up making the playoffs.
Yeah, Geno Smith played out of his mind this year. No one saw that coming. The defense was mediocre. It worked.
So, you know what? The secondary was good. They could not stop the run for
Yeah.
anything. Um, so if we're looking at some of these teams that like could be shit next year, the Bears, you never honestly know. But in that division, it's not hard to lose. All three of those teams have the potential to be very good. You get to the NFC South, you start looking at these teams, and it's like there are at least two teams who could just blow it up and be complete dog shit. But if you have two teams that blow it up and are dog shit within the division,
I I think Atlanta possibly
yeah,
could have number one pick out of the NFC South. I don't think Carolina's be bad enough next year. I think Tampa Bay still has too much talent on their roster to
definitely.
be that bad.
Yeah,
And
they'll at least get the in division wins. Yeah,
yeah, the Saints could be. The Saints could be that. If the Saints can't get Derek Carr to come over in free agency, which what a fever dream that Derek Carr is a hot
Going-
commodity as a
I
free
know,
agent.
I know.
What a wild time. Okay, Derek Carr is as good of a quarterback as Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, they're all as good as each other right now.
I
Oh, don't
right,
make that
right
face.
now.
Don't
yes.
make that face.
Overall,
Kirk
as a
Kirk
career,
Cousins is just as good in his career as Stafford. He just now got on a winning team
no,
last
no.
week.
The reaction was to Derek Carr being in the same caliber
Oh,
as those two.
oh. Derek Carr has been okay. Derek Carr is actually pretty good. He's not that bad. Those Raiders teams were so
I
bad. When he
know.
actually had talent around him on those Raiders teams, he actually made the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't know. I think okay, bias, Stafford,
Bias.
because
Mhm.
I'm a Michigander, Detroit team.
Mhm.
I think I've had to be a little more realistic with him, but.
Kirk Cousins, Michigan State guy, Michigander again.
Yeah, so for me personally, I have Stafford,
Kirk.
Kirk. Kirk is going to put up
Ooh.
regular season numbers for sure, but in the playoffs, doggy dick.
Okay. Okay now.
Nobody in
I
the
think-
NFC East is going to be bad enough to.
No one in the NFC East is going to be bad enough, except maybe
No one.
Okay, if the Giants lose Saquon Barkley,
Yeah, they probably will too because
they probably will because they're too far apart in contract talks.
they just re-signed receiver Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Brought Hodgins back. I think they're going to be able to re-sign Daniel Jones, not for the
Not,
$45
no,
million that everyone's
that was
been
leaked
talking
to
about.
make him sound bad.
That was probably from his agent that he let go.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. His agent. So basically, his agent put that out there to like devalue the trade value or something. I don't really know, or devalue like.
Well, the
what
like
his,
devalue is like contract talk.
Yeah.
But
NFC
regardless,
West.
NFC West. There's a couple of teams that could. Okay. Hypothetical: Kyler Murray doesn't play at all next year.
That's
Misses entire season.
Exactly where I was gonna go. You
Colt
read
McCoy.
my mind.
Colt McCoy is also out to start.
Yeah, you have a 2 at best win team.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's pretty bad. What do you do with number 1 overall pick? You have Kyler Murray.
You trade
Going
Kyler.
off of the ACL.
You trade Kyler.
Trade Kyler. Yeah, you do. You do. That's
No
the thing.
question.
That's how good. That's good. How good Caleb Williams is as a prospect, and I love Kyler Murray, and that's the correct decision. You trade Kyler, or
yeah,
even then, this pick will be one of the most valuable draft picks in NFL history.
Oh, definitely, 100.
Imagine who owns the Rams pick next year now. We know
the Rams actually do. They have their own pick for next year.
They own their pick for 2024.
I looked this up yesterday because I was also curious. So Rams 2024 picks. Let me make sure, but I looked this up. Yep. How many draft picks do the Rams have in 2024? This was 2023. They traded their first, fourth, fifth round. The 2024 draft, they only traded their 7th round. They've held on to their entire 2024 draft pool other than doing a 6th, 7th round pick swap with the Broncos for Kenny Young.
God. That's a team that could possibly end up being there. Imagine if he could just stay in LA, just goes to the Rams.
So yeah,
Sean McVay would love it.
That's exactly why I've been talking about blowing it up and saying that he will probably stay with the team regardless. McVay will be there regardless.
Yeah. I think Matthew Stafford should retire this offseason, honestly.
Agreed.
But also, you want to hear something that is just going to suck here? Baker Mayfield's too good to have the number 1 overall pick. He would ruin it. And I think they are going to re-sign Baker.
Yeah, I think if you start Baker all year, if the Cardinals don't have Kyler for even half a year, let alone a full year, the Cardinals are taking the 1.
Probably. If Kyler doesn't play at all next year, the Cardinals have number 1.
100%, definitely. AFC North, none of those teams could get the 1. AFC South is an interesting one because, like we were just talking about, the Titans
definitely could.
If they blow it all up, they definitely could. The Texans probably won't have that high of a pick
because they're probably going to take if what the Texans hit us with a curveball
and go defense this year.
Yeah, goes like Jalen Carter or Will Anderson at 2.
It's certainly possible.
They could.
But do you want another year of being dog shit if you're the Texans, or do you want to actually start working on your rebuild?
I mean, you can keep working on rebuild. Just make sure there's a structure for a quarterback to come into. Like, I'm a firm believer of you want a structure first.
Yeah.
For a quarterback to already come into and then grow around.
I think it could be interesting because I think you might fall into the trap of what we were talking about with the NFC South of both the Colts and the Texans and even the Titans could be shit. So you might struggle with some of those in-division games because your players aren't just going to blatantly throw a game, right? And
no.
If you get caught like benching your good players to tank a game, like
the Eagles did it.
Well,
the Eagles didn't get, and nothing happened in the Eagles either. Remember a couple years ago, Doug Peterson got fired after this game.
Yeah.
But he did the correct thing for the franchise. He benched Jalen Hurts, fucking put in their third string quarterback and lost a game and got a better pick. It ended up because they had that better pick, they were able to trade back, and that ended up getting them AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
But whatever.
I plead the fifth on that one because if I speak, I will be in big trouble. However, AFC East, nobody in there is bad enough to get like a generational talent quarterback. All of their rosters are good enough to be at least 7-win teams.
Yeah, unless someone gets hurt. Like, injury is the only thing that can stop it. Like,
honestly, I don't...
Like, if Miami, if Tua goes down and they're playing with Skylar Thompson all fucking year...
You can get 4 wins.
4 wins could be bad enough to have the number one pick, right. Brett.
I don't think so.
4 wins could get it.
And then AFC West, the Raiders would be the only ones, and it just depends on what happens. But
and they might not even own their pick.
Exactly.
I mean, if they like, I don't think anyone from the AFC West is gonna be bad enough. I'm just excited to watch the shit show unfold.
Yeah, I know, same.
Because it would be so funny.
Yeah.
I so want it to be a team that traded away their first round pick. I so want it to be that kind of irony.
Let's check. 2024.
Does anyone own anyone's 2024 pick?
That's what I'm looking for.
I doubt it.
Well, we know. I think there's one. I think there's one from. I could be wrong. Let me check.
Oh, Denver. Probably Denver. Seattle owning Denver's probably would be it. How much should they give up for Wilson?
That's a good question. Let me see. 2025, 2023. I was thinking Cleveland would have been the other one, but 2023 was the last one. Hmm. 2024 third round, 2024 fourth round, 2024 fourth round, third round. It looks like everybody still has their first. Man.
Yeah.
When the shenanigans start. Yeah, when the shenanigans start.
Just wait for it. Yeah, wait until the end of this year's draft, and we'll see where everyone falls.
I really hope the Saints have the worst record again and lose their pick. That would just be a highlight.
I feel like the only teams that are going to be willing to trade their first round pick this year, for 2024, is going to be teams that already have an established franchise quarterback at this point.
Yeah, Mahomes and
Mahomes,
the Chiefs,
Allen.
The Bengals probably need to keep it because they need cheap.
Yeah, the Bengals need cheap.
Yeah.
Because they need still remember they needed to sign Joe Burrow to a monster deal.
Oh my God, I know. It's
you know what they should do? They should do what you guys did and just sign Joe Burrow to a 10-year deal.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I
mean, I want that rivalry to just keep going between Burrow and Mahomes. It just sucks you guys aren't in the same division. But maybe that's a good thing for you guys.
Hey, we won the last one. The thing that people were pointing out.
I know, but you guys
we don't
lost
need to talk about
before that.
We don't need to talk about the offensive line. It's okay. It's fine. It's all good.
It's fine. Their offensive line sucks.
People were pointing out how Mahomes acts with Josh Allen, like it's friendly and like they talk or whatever. But when we play the Bengals, they either just like handshake or they just nod on the field and it's done. It's over. There's no interpersonal relationship. It's just cold competition.
I know, and that's the thing. I think Burrow is the only one of the young quarterbacks in like Mahomes' generation that he respects.
That's probably true. I would believe it. Well, he respects Hurts. I know he respects Hurts.
He respects Hurts, yeah.
But in the AFC,
I think Burrow's the one he sees that's like on his level is the problem.
I think he sees him as like he's going to be the next Tom Brady, and that's Peyton Manning right there.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Because Joe even plays the game like Peyton Manning does.
He definitely has gotten a lot better at reading the defenses. Turnovers aren't as big of an issue as Manning had, but...
I mean, he did a bunch of turnover-worthy plays early on this year, and he just need to work it out. For Joe, I feel like it's just he needs to see so many different styles of coverages live in game.
Yeah, it's one of those like experience versus like
Yeah.
workroom kind of things. Like some people are very hands on, and I feel like once he sees it and kind of adapts to it, he does have that very Peyton Manning like, oh, I'm able to read this formation. I agree with you.
It's like he just needs to see it once, and that's it. But yeah, I feel like that's the only. Maybe Lamar is the
I
only
hope
other
so.
one.
I really hope so because I love Lamar. I would love for him to go to Detroit. That would be my favorite. I would love to see Lamar go to the Jets, but Detroit would make me
Detroit
happy.
or I also like it.
Atlanta.
Maybe not from a not from a scheme
I
fit,
knew
but
that's
for
what
a
you were gonna
cult.
say.
It's for a culture fit, man. Lamar Jackson in Atlanta would be absolutely electric.
Yeah,
It would.
Hey, if they can get another good tight end, okay, run 2 tight end sets every single time.
They could.
Watch
They
Lamar
could. This
run.
is an amazing tight end draft class. You can get a good tight end in the second round this year still. Luke
Or-
Musgrave is going to probably be there in the second when they want.
Well, next year, Brock Bauer, right?
They that would suck if they got Lamar Jackson and they were still bad enough to get Brock Bowers.
That'd be funny.
That would be so fucking shitty. We got Lamar and we still have a top 5 pick.
If he gets injured, knocking profusely on wood because don't ever want that to happen. But I mean, that's really all it takes with one of those teams that has no depth, insane fragility. I mean, like we saw what happens when the Falcons don't have a quarterback this year. They ran and they ran and they ran and they ran, and then Kyle Pitts got injured, and they got even worse running the ball.
And here's the thing. Kyle Pitts is a great weapon that wasn't being used properly, and also none of his quarterbacks were good enough to even get him the ball when he was open.
I hope to fuck he comes back 100%.
And Drake London was also playing well.
Yes, he was.
When Drake London was actually getting targets, he was catching everything that was getting thrown his way.
Yeah.
Big power forward. Like
Fucking Falcons.
I would also be okay if the Ravens keeping Lamar and re-signing him to long term. Also, from like the Ravens camp, I guess supposedly someone said that they could see it going anyway.
Yeah.
Like nothing's off the table.
Yeah.
There's got to be one thing that's off the table.
What's up?
Letting him just straight up walk in free agency. That's all.
100%.
Because
definitely.
The comp pick you would get from Lamar is not worth letting him walk.
Agreed.
Yeah, like that's just not it. That's just not how you want to do that.
I think the best move for them right now is trading and trying to get at least 2 first-round picks. At least.
I think the best thing is re-signing Lamar. Best thing is re-signing.
They're not going to give him the guaranteed money he wants. That's the thing. So while I agree with you,
that's the problem.
I agree, but that's not a decision that they're willing to listen to. So I think that the next best thing that they could do, I guess, is the better way of saying it. The thing that they are willing to do is trade him to a team
that will pay him. So, but like you said, Detroit is a team that has the cap space to pay him. They have a great offensive line. They have some young, dynamic receivers. No tight end, but
Well,
it doesn't matter.
You want to speak of young and great? DeAndre Swift has no interest in coming back after his contract is done.
Ooh, he said that?
Let me see.
I bet you he would change his tune if Lamar...
I don't know if that was leaked or if that was something...
It doesn't matter. If Lamar Jackson comes in as your quarterback, you will come back and play.
Let's see. I saw it on Twitter.
From who on
Twitter? It could have been one of those fucking ball sacks.
It could have been so many things. It could have been so many things. I wouldn't be surprised. If you want to look at the history of the franchise, maybe you shouldn't. But if you get a franchise quarterback in Lamar Jackson, you fucking stay. Because there's a chance of you fucking either getting insane numbers because defenses are going to key on him, or if you have a good enough team around you, maybe making it all the way to the Super Bowl and winning one. And
the Lions, they have a good roster.
The Lions, the Lions are actually top 10 right now in Super Bowl odds next year.
Yeah, and I mean, well, if you look at the pick that they have this year for the Rams.
No. So, like I said, they could rock with Jared Goff. They could trade up and draft a rookie quarterback. They could just wait and see if a rookie quarterback falls to them. They could also see if Lamar Jackson's available.
So the Lions have the 6th overall pick.
Yep.
They could move up to 3.
They could move up to 1. If they package
could?
6, if they package 6 and 18, if they package 6 and 18 or 6 and their second round pick,
the Bears would take that. Yeah, the Bears would take that.
Yeah, 6 and their second round pick, the Bears would probably take. Move up to 1.
Who do you take then? Who do you take in that situation?
If I'm Detroit, I'm moving up to 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm taking Richardson. He still fits with what you want to do.
I know, but
That's the problem. And like, here's another thing. If I'm Detroit, could also just go BPA, stay where you're at with both those draft picks.
Yeah, that's true.
Go BPA for both those picks. Second round, Hendon Hooker's there.
Exactly.
Tennessee.
100%.
He is ready to compete right now. He's 25 years old. He can go win you some games right now.
Definitely.
And he's okay with being mentored by another quarterback for a year. Jared Goff can still be your starter next year.
And if Jared Goff has a fantastic year, if he's showing some real, if he has a year as good as he did last year, maybe.
Yeah, but Jared Goff had some Drew Brees home away splits, man. Like, it was
you
bad.
know what? For the first half of the season, yes, but because that was something that I pointed out. Let me 2022 stats.
Did he get a little bit better in the second half of the year? On the road,
a lot better. So Tyreek Hill said that he would love to go play with Jared Goff. So let's look at. Here we go. So he had 65.1% completion percentage, which wasn't amazing, but where was splits?
His TD to interceptions ratio was probably decent near the end.
Let's see, passing.
I know Jared wasn't probably entering interceptions.
So yeah, he had a very, very low. It was like 1 touchdown to 4 interceptions or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, in the away for a while.
Yeah.
But he finished the season 6-4. So I'm pretty sure he threw 5 away with no interceptions. He had a pretty good streak towards the end of the year.
Towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Who was he playing near the end of the year? Was the real question.
It wasn't that bad of a schedule.
Was it bad?
It was the Jets, who have a fantastic secondary, which I remember we won that game, which he threw a touchdown in. That was at the Jets. At Carolina, where he threw 3 touchdowns.
Okay. There it is.
But they did lose that one. And at home versus Chicago, it was 3-0, and then the win against the Packers. So there were 2 good teams and 1 okay team, and then Carolina.
Yep. Okay. But that still wouldn't. You know, it's another way you can go about it. You can wait real deep in the draft. Maybe if you really, really love Stenton Bennett, if like absolutely adore him. He's a backup quarterback in the NFL, like, but still,
yeah.
It's fun to think about.
Definitely, yeah. I think Goff is definitely going to be the starter this year, and it really depends on how he plays this year and what they do with the rest of the team.
Starter unless it's Lamar.
Oh, definitely, yeah, dude. You could say that for any team except like
Chiefs,
Bengals. Maybe, but if I'm the Bills, I'm taking Lamar over Josh Allen, though. Respectfully. But
I don't think they would.
Probably not.
But
Justin Herbert is probably the only other one you can make an argument for right now.
Miami 1,000% would.
Definitely.
Miami would.
Yeah.
Then Miami had to forfeit their first round pick this year.
Did they? Oh.
Yeah, because they were trying to get Tom Brady and Sean Payton.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was going to say the tampering thing. Shit, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks for them because that they could have been on the Lamar sweepstakes.
Man, that's ass. It's really sad.
It's really sad for them.
Um, do you?
Which also,
Yeah. What's up?
that's why Caleb Williams said that like that's where he wanted to end up. Like, Miami young coach.
I don't blame him. But you know what? I genuinely believe that Tua is a good quarterback. It's just the question of health and longevity for him that are going to be issues. Because
Yeah, exactly.
if
Like, how
we're
is he
in
doing a concussion?
the first month of the season and he already has 1 or 2 concussions, he's done. Done. No question.
Like, no, like, and at that point, like, do you even want to continue playing football?
He shouldn't. I mean, he probably wants to, but he probably won't. Do you want to move on to our Hall of Fame debate?
I was thinking let's have our Hall of Fame debate be its own separate episode.
Okay, I'm done.
Because I have a list of about 20 players.
Okay, that's more than fair. I have a list that someone else wrote of players that I know some of the names.
There we go. What? That'll be our next episode. Will be our Hall of Fame game. We're gonna go back and forth with retired players that aren't in the Hall of Fame and give our vote if we think they belong in or not.
I'll even throw in some current players because there's some players that already deserve it.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't take another snap, he's in. Aaron Rodgers is
a
in.
zero ballot. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill's in. Devontae Adams is in. Travis Kelce.
Oh, definitely. George Kittle.
I think
That's a
by
tough
the
one.
end of his career, yes, but not yet.
I agree. Let's see. Christian McCaffrey.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. Yeah. I'm kind of the same. We'll save this
It's
for
tough
that.
for-
We'll save this for that.
We'll save this for the episode, but everyone, thank you for coming to our Super Bowl wrap-up. It was an amazing episode. We got to talk about some off-season stuff, too. And I'm really happy we got to a lot of those off-season storylines and like where we would go and a couple of hypotheticals there.
Yeah, and when the combine gets closer and when we start looking at some of the teams that are actually making moves, because this is still, are we just free of the tampering period now, or are they're able to start?
We're not to the tampering period yet
Okay.
for free agents, not
Okay.
yet. As you said, the combine starts next week
Next week. That's crazy.
in Indianapolis,
so fast.
in my neck of the woods. So I'm gonna be avoiding downtown like the fucking plague.
I believe it. Yeah.
I do not personally have any tickets or any press passes for the combine, so I
If-
won't be there this year, guys.
If
Next
anyone
year I'll
wants
try.
to provide them, though, if anyone
Yeah.
happens to watch this,
I gotta go to work is the other problem. I gotta bring home the bacon.
call in sick, man.
All in sick.
Right.
But
Yeah.
everyone, smash that like button, fuck that subscribe button, and thank you for watching our videos, man.
What's
We
the
love you.
word? What's the word of the day? You pick the word of the day.
Word of the day is Excelsior.
Excelsior. Drop an Excelsior in the comments. Like you said, like, subscribe, comment. Love you guys. Peace out.